All week long, we've been discussing controversy in politics and how we've become more aware of the scandals over the decades as information becomes more accessible.
Tonight, we hear from some of Oregon's own congressional leaders on recent incidents in the state and how we as voters can be more proactive in electing our public leaders.
As the founding fathers rightly pointed out, eternal vigilance is what we need on the part of the citizens, and we have to be informed citizens.
It's a presidential year, and races at the local and national level are heating up. So as we cast our ballots this spring and fall, how do we best vet each candidate?
Senator Alan Simpson said it best. He said, if you plan to run for public office, you've got to go all the way back and make sure there was no lead in the diaper pins.
Experts say voters must be informed.
City council, county commission, state legislature. We have a responsibility to know who these people are, to fully educate ourselves, and to hold them to a higher standard because they are wanting to assume the role.
And hold all in public office to the same standard. We had some of Oregon's congressional leaders weigh in, and although on different sides of the aisle, Senator Ron Wyden and Congressman Greg Walden say Oregonians hold their public officials to the highest of standards.
History shows, with very few exceptions, when you look at the total number of people who have served and the length of service, we haven't had the kind of corruption that you see regularly in, say, a Chicago or a, New York or somewhere.
Oregonians are going to hold public officials accountable, that it's a public trust, and if you abuse it, you will face consequences.
Experts say if and when politicians mess up,
We should be forgiving, but it depends on the gravity of what they have done.
If it's a minor stumble, then we're more willing to write it off.
but because they work for us, we have a right to expect them to behave in a certain manner. And when they don't,
We have a right to say, you deceived us, or you're failing in what you said you were going to do.
So what does this all mean? Experts say it comes down to getting out there and letting your voice be heard, and sometimes heard early on. In other words, you've got to vote. Though Oregon has long had one of the highest voter turnouts in the country, not everyone who can vote is exercising that right. In 2012, less than 22% of the voting eligible population cast ballots in the primary, compared to 64% in the general election that same year. And whether in Oregon or Washington, D.C., all politics are local and could affect you. So it's important that your voice be heard.